This is the Pop Music Freak. I'm back doing another reaction video. I'm doing my countdown of my 1,000 all-time favorite songs, and we're up to song number 996. It is a song by Gladys Knight and the Pips called Midnight Train to Georgia. Ended up being the biggest hit that the Gladys Knight and the Pips ever had, going to number one. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of information of what the song is about and how it was written and how it changed a couple of times and how it was recorded and how it became a million-selling hit for Gladys Knight and the Pips. Alright, let me give you the whole story. Midnight Train to Georgia is a song by Gladys Knight and the Pips, their second release after departing Motown Records for Buddha Records. It was written by Jim Weatherly and was included on the Pips' 1973 LP Imagination. Midnight Train to Georgia became the group's first single to top the Billboard Hot 100. It also won the 1974 Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal Performance by a duo, group, or chorus, and has become Knight's signature song. Here's some background. The song was originally written and performed by Jim Weatherly under the title Midnight Plane to Houston, which he recorded on Jimmy Bowen's Amos Records. It was based on a conversation I had with somebody about taking a midnight plane to Houston, Weatherly recalled. I wrote it as a kind of a country song. Then he sent the song to a guy named Sonny Limbo in Atlanta, and he wanted to cut it with Sissy Houston. He asked if I minded if he changed the title to Midnight Train to Georgia, and I said I don't mind, just don't change the rest of the song. Weatherly, in a later interview with Gary James, stated that the phone conversation in question had been with Farrah Fawcett, of all people, and he used Fawcett and her friend, Lee Majors, whom she had just started dating, as kind of like characters. Weatherly, at a program in Nashville, said he had been the quarterback at the University of Mississippi, and the NFL didn't work out for him, so he was in Los Angeles trying to write songs. He was in a recreational football league with Lee Majors and called Majors one night. Farrah Fawcett answered the phone and he asked what she was doing. She said she was taking the midnight plane to Houston to visit her family. He thought that was a catchy phrase for a song, and in writing the song wondered why someone would leave LA on a midnight plane, which brought the idea of a superstar, but he didn't get far. Gospel soul singer Sissy Houston recorded the song as Midnight Train to Georgia, spelled M-I-D-N-I-G-H-T, on a UK single, was released in 1973. Her version can also be found on her albums Midnight Train to Georgia, The Janice Years, and the reissue of her 1970 debut album presenting Sissy Houston, originally released on Janice Records. Weatherly's publisher forwarded the song to Gladys Knight and the Pips, who followed Houston's lead and kept the title Midnight Train to Georgia. The single debuted on the Hot 100 at number 71 and became the group's first number one hit 8 weeks later, when it jumped from number 5 to number 1 on October 27th, 1973, replacing Angie by the Rolling Stones. It remained in the top position for 2 weeks. It was replaced by Keep On Truckin' Part 1 by Eddie Kendricks. It also reached number 1 on the Soul Singles chart, their fifth on that chart. The record was awarded an RIAA Gold single for selling 1 million copies on October 18, 1973. On the UK Singles chart, it peaked at number 10 on June 5th of 1976. In her autobiography, Between Each Line of Pain and Glory, Gladys Knight wrote that she hoped the song was a comfort to the many thousands who come each year from elsewhere to Los Angeles to realize the dream of being in motion pictures, television, or music, but then fail to realize the dream and plunge into despair. In 1999, Midnight Train to Georgia was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Currently ranks at number 470 on Rolling Stone's updated list of their 500 greatest songs of all time. Now, in terms of the weekly charts, let me give you a rundown of how it did in other countries. In Canada, it reached number 5 on the pop singles chart, number 13 on the adult contemporary chart. In the UK, it reached number 10. In the US adult contemporary chart, hit number 19, hit number 1 on the R&B chart, hit number 1 on the Hot 100, and number 1 on the Cashbox Top 100. For the year, it ranked at number 49 for the Hot 100. I think that's because it was released later in the year and some of the points counted towards this in 1974. On Cashbox, though, it was rated number 15 for the year 1973. So that's pretty much the story of that song. Of course, the Pips sang background on the song for Gladys Knight. It was produced and arranged by Tony Camillo, who would later produce a disco hit called Dynamite as Tony Camillo's Bazooka. He also played the Hammond organ and percussion on the song, and a couple of very famous jazz musicians, Randy and Michael Brecker, played trumpet and saxophone, respectively. And I guess that's about it. Lynn Anderson re-recorded the song, and it became a minor country hit in 1974, but I think hers was basically a redo of Jim Weatherly's version, maybe not the Gladys Knight version. But anyway, that's where we are. That's the information I have on that song. What I'm going to do now is play the video. I hope you enjoy it. I'll have a couple silly things to say at the end, as I always do. Okay, we'll be back.
For the man, too much for the man. He couldn't make it, so he's leaving the life he's come to know. Ooh. He said he's going. He said he's going back to find. Going back to find. Ooh, what's left of his world? The world he left behind. Not so long ago. He's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia. Leaving on the midnight train. Yeah. Said he's going back to a simpler place and time. Oh yes he is. Now be with him. Train to Georgia. Leaving on that midnight train. I'd rather live in his world than live without him in mine. World is his and hers alone. He kept dreaming, ooh, that someday he'd be a star, a superstar, but he didn't get far. But he sure found out the hard way. The dreams don't always come true. Oh no. So he pawned all his hopes, and he even sold his old car. Bought a one-way ticket back to the life he once knew. Oh yes he did. He said he would. Said he's going back to find, ooh, a simpler place and time. Oh, yeah, and I'm gonna be with him. On that midnight train to Georgia. I'd rather live in his world than live without him in mine.
Alright, there it is. A great song from Gladys Knight and the Pips from the fall of 1973. Midnight Train to Georgia. Had to throw a few golden oldies on my list. I am a child of the 70s, though, so do expect a lot of 70s songs on this countdown, and a few 60s and a good bunch of 80s. It's going to be a decent mixture. It may not be a whole lot of recent songs, but there's a few, just to show that I'm not completely senile yet. So, there we are. Hope you enjoyed that video. Please share it with everyone you know, everyone you think that would like this song. Share it with your parents who might remember these good old tunes from the 70s. And please, of course, subscribe. We gotta build this sucker up. Alright, my friends, peace and love. See you at the next kind of reaction video.